The Dragon Ball franchise. How I remember you very well from when I was a kid, and I always used to watch you every day whenever you came out to Nami, or whenever I had the chance to watch at my uncle's house or my cousin's house. Wherever I was, I would always find a way to watch Dragon Ball Z and always enjoy every single time. I remember when the Cell Saga first aired, the Frieza Saga aired. I remember when all the first sagas aired. I basically watched it when it was live and when it was airing for the first time, and oh my lord, little Plasma enjoyed Dragon Ball Z for sure. That was my very first anime and still one of my few favorite animes that still hold dear to my heart and always will remember Dragon Ball Z as the action-packed anime that I always remember. And of course, Dragon Ball Z had its cliche moments. Of course, it had those random moments that animes do, fan service moments. At the time, I didn't know what fan service was until Dragon Ball Z obviously has fan service and all that stuff. As I grew up, I definitely did start liking other animes, but Dragon Ball Z it's amazing. The soundtrack is amazing though. It's overall, come on. If you watch Dragon Ball Z as a kid, if you did not try to transform into Super Saiyan once, you are clearly lying to me and you're lying to yourself as well. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen and Saiyans, I'll be naming my top 5 Dragon Ball Z characters. And taking the number 5 spot is a very expected character, but not at this slot. Number 5. The reason I put Goku at number 5 is because when I was a kid, I loved Goku. Like, he was my very favorite character in the Dragon Ball franchise. Dragon Ball Z, and even GT. Even though GT is not canon, so we will not speak or utter a word of that series ever. So the reason I liked him as a kid, because he was a superhero. Of course, everyone needed a superhero, the savior and everything. But as I grew up, I'm like, Goku, you're so unneeded. Like, why do they always depend on Goku to save the entire world? Like, that nigga was dead. He was dead for good, and they somehow brought him back. Like, I do not get it. That is like a little rant, but I don't get it. Like, why can't you let Gohan like finally rule, like, you know, be in your place? Why couldn't your son be your successor? Like, I don't get it. He's always depended. He's always needed. Like, he's obviously gonna save the world. Good against evil prevail, whatever. It's just, I still like Goku though. He's pretty cool. He has his moments where he's really cool. He's not really a good father, but he's a very good man and a very like moral man who always follows the rules and ethics of life and everything. Which is why he's in the number 5 spot, which is why he's in any further, just because he's always so dependent on everything. I wish they would like not depend on him a lot, but that's just me, whatever. On to number 4. And taking the number 4 spot is the Namekian Piccolo. Now the reason I put Piccolo in this is not because of his overall power level and his like strength and everything. He's strong, but he isn't strong as Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, everybody else. He has his own unique strength, but the reason I put him in this list is because of his character. Now Piccolo at the very beginning of Dragon Ball Z, we didn't care for a lot of people. He just wanted to kill Goku and win basically. That was the end of Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z started changing a bit as a character as the years passed by. Basically the Raditz saga, the Raditz battle and everything else. But as after Goku died, basically Piccolo took care of Gohan. He watched Gohan grow. He helped Gohan in his own way, and he sort of said that Gohan was like his own best, like his very first friend, like his son figure. You know what I mean? Like, it's just overall his character, how he became nice. If you watch Dragon Ball Z from the beginning and all the way to the end, like the Buu saga, you'll see that Piccolo changed immensely as a character, and I really do adore Piccolo for the fact that how he had to change and like how the fact his life has affected him. It's not overall his character, of course. If it was power level, freaking like this Piccolo will not even be on this list, man. Like, it's just you gotta look at more things than power levels and action. As you grow up, you look more at different types of plot, different types of characters. Everything else you look at differently. Character, basically how Piccolo evolved his character from the Raditz battle all the way to the final Buu battle. Now on to number 3. And finally, as you go to the final 3, the Prince of all Saiyan, Vegeta, makes at the number 3 spot. Now, the reason I put Vegeta here is because obviously Vegeta and Goku are amazing rivals, and of course if I put Goku, I have to put Vegeta in there, but not because of that, because at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, you see that Vegeta is an arrogant prince, basically cocky and full of himself, thinking he can kill Goku easily and stop apparently a clown, as he calls him, and he never did. But then that inspired Vegeta to always grow and become more powerful, and always reach the level of Super Saiyan, how much he worked hard for it. And eventually, at the end of the Buu saga, just confirmed how much I liked Vegeta as a character because of the speech he gave him, where his family, his friends, their influences, like how much Vegeta, like, even though his little big ass speech, I cannot remember his speech word by word, of course, I wish, but it was really a moving and inspirational speech, just like how Goku will always be the stronger man, always how he always respect Goku for fighting the way he does, his right, his moral rights and everything. And just that speech, and overall, there are moments, of course, where I love Vegeta, just like what he had to sacrifice himself to save his family, even though it didn't win, even though he didn't go the way he wanted to, but he sacrificed himself for his family, his wife, his children, even for his rival. It's just, oh my lord, just like, you may not like Vegeta, I understand, he's an arrogant, cocky prince who will never win in a battle. He'll never win in a battle, of course, but he won my respect. That's the only thing he's won in this list. So, on to number 2. And taking the number 2 spot, it has to be one of the most badass villains I have ever seen as a kid, and still today, Kid Buu, basically in the Buu saga. And they were basically different Buu versions, the original fat one, all the way to like slim version, to Kid Buu, the most powerful one. People slept on Kid Buu and he destroyed the fucking earth. He was one of the first villains to destroy the earth, and no, that nigga just raised a finger, an entire hand, and just boom, destroyed the entire earth and was a pain in the ass. Kid Buu is literally violent, scary, dangerous, not a threat. You think just because of his childlike form he's probably restricted? No, that bitch is fucking insane, yo. He's sadistic, powerful. He has no mercy, and he's one of the best villains Dragon Ball series has ever seen. Cell, Frieza, everyone, they're nothing compared to Kid Buu and his powers. Even Goku's struggling. If it wasn't for the Spirit Bomb, honestly, Kid Buu could have won and killed Goku easy. Not even Super Saiyan 3 Goku could have matched up to freaking Kid Buu. Fusion, perhaps it could match up to him, but I'm not even sure. But if it was possibly made a what if fusion, maybe like what if Vegeta versus Kid Buu, who knows what would happen. But Kid Buu is just so powerful, so strong, so mean. He's one of the perfect villains in my opinion. Even though after Kakute and Hiruku, it would be Kid Buu. It's like freaking. Also, we put maybe you know what? It's just I can't explain it. I cannot. It's utter badassness. How his theme is badass. How his overall just a really cool villain. He's a really good villain, sadistic, powerful. No like actual no sanity in this man. He will kill anybody and anything, even his own master, which is why he's in the number 2 spot. And finally, taking the number 1 spot is Future Trunks, not the present Trunks that basically was there after the Majin Buu saga, the one that came to Earth to warn Goku and the Z Warriors of the android. Now, the reason I like him better than the present Trunks or anybody else in general, just because this man lived in a time where if you didn't get the job done, you're basically dead. Because Future Trunks from a time where all the Z Warriors were dead except for him and Bulma and Gohan, but Gohan died, so he was the only one left, and he had to get the job done. The Dragon Ball didn't exist, and I believe we didn't know about where Kami's tower was and where everybody else was to get the Dragon Balls. I don't think he could travel to Namek. I'm not sure he could bring everybody back, but then he basically lived in a time where it's only one life. How I truly liked him was just because of how much of a warrior he was and how much he just didn't play around like the other guys. Gohan, when he transferred to Super Saiyan 2 and he was Team Gohan, basically when he became Super Saiyan 2 to kill Cell, he was playing around with him. Vegeta always plays around with power, even though he doesn't want to get the job done. He just wants to play around and like toy with them. But Trunks, this man just killed Cell when he basically went back to his own time. He went there, killed Cell in his first form, not his perfect form. He didn't allow Cell to come to his last form because of how much of a threat he was. And overall, just because of that one sole reason, how much he had to survive and how much despair and how much dark he had to deal with his time. And just, that's one of them. That's the only reason why I like him. Other than that, I don't know. His character is pretty like, he's pretty not the talkative type. I'll give you that. He doesn't talk a lot. And he's just one of those guys that aren't used to talking a lot. Just used to surviving and not usually socializing because the time he went to was really dark and he couldn't really talk a lot. He just had to survive and fight. So, you know, I don't think he had time to learn socialization skills that much. That basically wraps up my video of my top 5 Dragon Ball Z characters. It's not really an impressive list, I'll give you that. You guys probably have more Dragon Ball Z knowledge than I do because I can't remember the series fully. There's some moments I probably messed up on or forgot or anything. But then be sure to mind me in the comment section below. Be sure to comment below also what your favorite Dragon Ball Z character is. Personally, I would love to hear that because this show is really good. Even though it's a couple years old, people still talk about it. It's one of the best dubbed anime I've heard in a very long time. Well, ladies and gentlemen and Saiyans, my name is PlasmaRPG, and I'll see you guys later. Farewell.